Hello and welcome to the PRISM II video series that are intended to support you as you're working with your team to develop your grant proposal for PRISM II. In this video, we will discuss the application questions and components for PRISM II program. If you are looking for assistance with the PRISM II grant application questions, please refer to the PRISM II Understand the Applications Questions video, as questions may vary. I am Octavia Nixon, an ELA Literacy Content Support Specialist. In addition to hosting these videos, I, along with my team, are here to support you every step of the way during the application process. If you are just hearing about the PRISM grant, it stands for Partnership for Reading Success, Massachusetts. The PRISM II and III grants will support local education agencies, LEAs, including districts, collaboratives, and charter schools, to evaluate, select, purchase, launch, and implement high-quality instructional materials. PRISM II is for grades pre-K to 3, and PRISM III is for grades 4 to 12. This grant will empower educators with hands-on support, high-quality instructional materials, and expert guidance to bring to life relevant real-world literacy learning experiences for every student. The objective for this video are to be able to review the questions and components for the PRISM II grant application and provide considerations for answering the application questions that will assess and demonstrate your LEA or your consortium's readiness and commitment for PRISM II. Before we dive in, it's important to note that the PRISM II grant application is due on May 19th. Applications submitted via email or submitted after 5 p.m. on May 19th will not be considered. We will discuss the proposal team, followed by providing information on the 3 general sections of the application. Part A, general information. Part B, readiness, commitment, and interest. And Part C, literacy, leadership, and professional development. We will also explore the implications of forming a proposal team, followed by an overview of the 3 main sections of the application, before ending with some pertinent FAQs related to the application questions. Let's begin with a brief discussion about the proposal team. In order for PRISM II programming to be successful throughout and beyond the grant funding period, a variety of stakeholder groups across the community will need to be committed to and involved with the PRISM II at the onset. This can start with the proposal team. LEA's consortia might want to think about what success will look like and how they can build a PRISM Council team that is representative of each case stakeholder group that will be essential to PRISM II's sustained success if awarded. Now let's go over Part A. Part A, the general information section, will require you to identify the primary grant contact person. This individual will serve as the main point of contact for any questions regarding the grant proposal. You must provide their name, role, email, address, and daytime phone number. You will also need to designate a district or leadership team staff member to lead the PRISM II initiative. This person may be the same person as the primary grant contact, but does not have to be. When selecting the lead, consider their capacity to oversee the initiative effectively. You must provide their name, role, email, address, and daytime phone number. Next, you will indicate whether you are applying as a consortium. LEAs may apply as a consortium comprised of at least 3 schools. If awarded, all LEAs in the consortium will participate in PRISM II as a coordinated team within the same grade bands. If applying as a consortium, list the name of the other participating LEAs. If not applying as consortium, indicate NA. Now I'll go over some key considerations to keep in mind for some of the questions in this section. Question A10 requires you to specify the grade bands for which you are applying. You can select pre-K, pre-K to 2, pre-K to 3, K to 2, K to 3. Please note that LEAs may apply for pre-K only if at the time of application, the LEA is using high-quality instruction materials for Tier 1 instruction in grades K to 3 LEA literacy. If the LEA is also participating in the Commonwealth Preschool Partnership Initiative, CPPI, community-based partnerships must be included in the application. If awarded, PRISM II funds must be used for activities and materials within the approved grade band. Question A11 asks you to select the track you are applying for. Track 1 is for LEAs or consortium that have completed a comprehensive evaluation and selection process and are ready to purchase high-quality core instructional materials for ELA literacy in summer 2025 for implementation in the school year 2025-2026 school year. Track 2 is for LEAs or consortiums prepared to engage in an evaluation, selection, and purchase process during the 2025-2026 school year for implementation in the 2026-2027 school year. All Track 2 PRISM II districts will participate in DESE's Evaluate and Selection Network. Question A12 requires details about the schools participating in PRISM II, including all schools in a consortium with a maximum of 15 schools. You will also need to name the curriculum or curricula in use in pre-K to 3 for grades for ELA literacy below. If using separate instructional materials for early literacy foundational skills and/or for pre-K, please also include those. Question A14 applies only to LEA's consortia applying with pre-K. Please briefly describe the pre-K program in the above-named schools, including the number of students served in recent years, the number of students expected to attend in school year 24-25, and the number of pre-K classrooms, and how many are inclusion or substantially separate classrooms. If not applying with pre-K, please indicate NA. Question A15 applies only to LEA's consortia, including pre-K, in their application. You will need to describe any existing partnerships with community-based pre-K programs and indicate whether you plan to include these partnerships in PRISM II initiative. If your LEA is including pre-K and PRISM II, all public pre-K classrooms with participating schools must be included. Additionally, LEAs may choose to include community-based pre-K programs, though this is optional. However, if your LEA receives the Commonwealth Preschool Partnership Initiative grant, inclusion of community-based pre-K programs is required. If not applying with pre-K, please indicate NA. You will then be asked to confirm that curriculum data has been reported for your LEA or consortium as outlined in the RFP. Follow the links provided in the resources for the PRISM II and step-by-step instructions to complete this requirement. Additionally, regardless of the grade band for which you are applying, you must select the early literacy screening assessment tool used in grades K to 3. Now let's move to Part B, readiness, commitment, and interest. Part B consists of 4 questions. If applying as a consortium, address each participating LEA and your responses. Ensure clarity and detail while incorporating relevant data where applicable. You will be asked to explain why your LEA consortium wants to participate in PRISM II. If applying for Track 1, you must describe the process used to select the high-quality instructional materials you plan to purchase and clearly outline the roles of individuals involved and the criteria used in a selection. Consider detailing how the need for new materials was assessed, how materials were evaluated, and how they were determined to meet the needs of all students. If you participated in the Implement MA Evaluation and Selection HQIM network for ELA literacy this school year, please upload your progress tracker to the related documents section of GEMS. Refer to the HQIM Evaluation and Selection Guidance one-pager for more details. Next, you will describe any literacy achievement disparities based on race, socioeconomic status, language status, and/or disability status with your school. You will also outline steps taken in recent years to promote equity in literacy achievement. Finally, you will be asked to describe what inclusive and culturally and linguistically sustaining practices in early literacy currently looks like in participating schools in the classrooms to support and engage all students to excel at or above grade level, particularly from historically underserved groups and communities. Now let's move on to Part C, literacy, leadership, and professional development. Part C has 4 questions. If you're applying as a consortium, address each participating LEA in each response. Your proposal should include as much clarity and detail as possible, include relevant data when applicable. First, let's talk about literacy leadership. Does your LEA or its school already have a literacy leadership team? If so, describe the roles represented, such as district administrators, instructional coaches, special education leads, multilingual learner specialists, and principals. Highlight how the team collaborates to drive literacy improvements. If no formal team is in place, explain who is responsible for literacy teaching and learning, whether it's principals, curriculum directors, or teacher leaders. Discuss how these roles will evolve to support the implementation of high-quality instructional materials. Be sure to outline the principal's role in instructional leadership, explain the systems in place such as professional learning communities, PLCs, data-driven decision-making, and coaching structures that support principals in leading HQIM selection and implementation. Now let's focus on professional learning. How many contracted days or hours will be available for teachers to engage in learning and planning in the 2025-2026 school year? If your schools already have a common planning time, specify how much will be dedicated to launching the new curriculum in its first year. If not, describe how you plan to structure professional learning to ensure a successful rollout. Share your vision for evolving professional learning structures, whether through instructional coaching, peer collaboration, or job-embedded training, to support the new curriculum effectively. Equity is at the heart of PRISM II. Based on your school's specific context, what supports will educators need to skillfully use the new curriculum to close literacy gaps for historically underserved students? Consider students with disabilities, multilingual learners, low-income students, and students of color. Describe the professional development, coaching, or instructional strategies that will equip educators to meet these students' needs. Stakeholder engagement is key to successful implementation. Reflect on past initiatives where you've successfully involved diverse groups such as families, community organizations, educators, and students, and describe those efforts. Now outline how you have in the past and plan to engage a diverse group of stakeholders in PRISM II. Consider forming advisory committees, hosting community forums, or gathering teacher and student input. Demonstrating meaningful engagement will strengthen your application. Lastly, for track one proposals only, you will need to submit an itemized quote from the publisher for the cost of the purchase of your selected high-quality instructional materials. You must upload the itemized quote to the related document section of GEMS. Now let's review some frequently asked questions about the application questions. Can the primary grant contact and the PRISM II initiative lead be the same person? Yes. The primary grant contact and the PRISM II initiative lead can be the same person, but they do not have to be. When selecting the initiative lead, consider their capacity to effectively oversee the project. You must provide the name, role, email address, and daytime phone number for both roles. For track one, what additional materials do I need to include as a part of my application? You need to include an itemized quote from the publisher for the cost to purchase the selected HQIM. This opportunity will fund up to 50% of the cost to procure the materials, apart from Appleseeds, which is funded at 100% if selected, up to $400,000. You must upload the itemized quote to the related document section of GEMS. The quote should include descriptions of the curriculum materials being purchased, individual prices for each item, total cost for the selected materials, including taxes and shipping to ensure an accurate representation of total expenses, any applicable discounts or special offers. If applicable, the DESEs implement and may evaluate and selection high-quality instructional materials network progress tracker. You must upload this in the related document section of GEMS. What if our LEA or consortium wants to apply only to preschool? LEAs or consortia may apply for only preschool if they've already used high-quality instructional materials for Tier 1 instruction in K-3 LEA literacy at the time of application. Additionally, if the LEA is participating in the Commonwealth Preschool Partnership Initiative, CPPI, partners must be included in the application. By addressing these key areas with clarity and detail, your application will reflect your LEA's commitment to literacy success. Thank you for watching and best of luck with your application. As a reminder, the PRISM II grant application is due on May 19th. Applications submitted via email or submitted after 5 p.m. on May 19th will not be considered. The PRISM website is another resource for information. Look there for updates, access to other videos in this series, links to items like the office hours, an updated FAQ, and contact information. You can also scan the following QR code, and it will give you direct access to the PRISM website. If you have any questions, please contact me, Octavia Nixon, at octavia.nixon@mass.gov for more information. Thank you.